very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Rajya TV. I'm Tracy Shilshi. In the next 30 minutes, all the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. Rival parties from Uttarakhand meet the president. BJP demands immediate floor test and dismissal of the Harish Rawat government, but Congress alleges that pressure is being brought on the governor. Ahead of elections in 5 states, Prime Minister Narendra Modi clarifies there is no change in the official reservation policy for Dalits and the downtrodden. Toxic fumes choke residents in Mumbai's Deonar locality. Chief Minister Fadnavis orders an inquiry into the second massive fire at the dumping ground in 2 days. And in yet another show of strength, North Korea fires more short-range missiles into the sea. UN Security Council calls it unacceptable violations of the UN resolutions. Top story this evening. President Pranab Mukherjee's intervention was formally sought Monday evening in the political crisis in Uttarakhand. Delegations of both the BJP and the Congress met the president, both separately pitching to run the hill state. While the BJP wants the Harish Rawat government dismissed immediately, the Congress has alleged that the BJP is pressurizing the state governor to advance the date of the floor test.
BJP leaders marching from Vijay Chowk to Rashtrapati Bhavan ahead of their meeting with President Pranab Mukherjee. As the political crisis in Uttarakhand deepened, the BJP's 28 state legislators met the president on Monday. They have demanded that Harish Rawat's government be dismissed immediately without waiting for a floor test scheduled for next Monday.
इसलिए हमने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी से निवेदन किया है कि आप गवर्नर को निर्देश दें कि सबसे पहले सरकार को भंग करें, उसके बाद विश्वास का मत हासिल करने के लिए कोई समय दे जिसमें हम सिद्ध कर सकेंगे कि हमारे पास अधिकतम विधायक हैं.
However, as widely speculated, rebel Congress MLAs were not part of the meeting. Their support is crucial to the BJP's plans to replace Harish Rawat's government. Soon after the BJP, a delegation of the Congress party also met the president. The Congress alleged that the BJP is trying to pressurize the governor to advance the date of floor test.
अलग अलग अफवाहें चलाई जा रही हैं बीजेपी के नेताओं की तरफ से और इसमें इनके शीर्ष नेता भी शामिल हैं कि हम तारीख को प्रीपोन करवा देंगे, हम प्रेसिडेंट रूल लगा देंगे.
Earlier in the day, the Congress party expelled 2 of its leaders, former Chief Minister Vijay Bahuguna's son, Saket Bahuguna, and party joint secretary Anil Gupta for anti-party activities. Saket Bahuguna is among the 9 MLAs who rebelled against the Harish Rawat government.
उन्होंने 2 व्यक्तियों के बारे में मुझे अनुशंसा करके कहा था कि इनको 6 साल के लिए पार्टी से निष्कासित कर दिया जाए. मैंने उनकी अनुशंसा को स्वीकार कर लिया. मुझे लगता है कि वो तब चाहे विजय बहुगुणा जी हो और तब चाहे साकेत बहुगुणा जी हैं हो, उस विरासत की रक्षा नहीं कर पाए और कांग्रेस ने उनको जो विश्वास दिया उसकी रक्षा नहीं कर पाए हैं. दोषी हुए हैं, कांग्रेस दोषी नहीं.
जो आज उत्तराखंड में लोकतंत्र की हत्या कर रहे हैं, विधानसभा की मर्यादाओं की हत्या कर रहे हैं, इंस्टीट्यूशंस को जो लोग तोड़ने का काम कर रहे हैं, जो लोग बाहुबल, धनबल, सत्ताबल से निर्वाचित सरकारों को अपदस्थ करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो उन लोगों के मुंह से इस तरीके के आरोप सुनना थोड़ा सा मुझे नागवारा गुजरा.
Before the crisis unfolded, the Congress had 36 MLAs in the 70-member assembly. The ruling party also has the support of 6 members of the Progressive Democratic Front, while opposition BJP has 28 MLAs. Shyam Sunder's report for Rajya TV.
All right, for more, in fact, Shyam Sunder is joining us at the moment for more details on what eventually took place, of course, today with those meetings that took place with the president. Shyam, give us an idea really on where, the balance is at the moment. I mean, who has it heavier at this point of time, the BJP or the Congress?
Well, as far as BJP is concerned, of course, 9 rebel MLAs are still with the BJP who are from Congress. But it was kind of a shock for BJP because they claimed that these 9 MLAs will be coming to President House with the BJP delegation. But they didn't come, though BJP claims that they are still with the BJP, and if given chance, BJP can prove its majority. But technically, because governor has given 28th March time, and it is a settled question by Supreme Court in Mumbai case that whenever there is a crisis, then majority should be proved on the floor of the House. And that ways, governor has taken a right step, and I don't think that president is going to overrule governor's recommendation, because it is very, very clear. And today Congress leaders also met, and Kapil Sibal, who is a senior lawyer, he also presented Congress case in front of Mr. President. And again, what Congress is saying, that BJP's claim that finance bill is failed in assembly. To that reply, Congress is claiming that Speaker's decision is final and it cannot be challenged outside the House. So that ways, technically, if we see on BJP's demand to prepone the floor test, Congress seems pretty confident and comfortable.
All right. So 28th of March is eventually what we're going to be seeing, is when the Harish Rawat government will be asked to show its majority. But what are your sources saying, Shyam? Is the Congress seeming confident, or is it on shaky ground, like how we saw it in Arunachal Pradesh? They were claiming that the governor was trying to take over proceedings of the House. They were claiming the BJP is, of course, trying to get their, get their rebel MLAs. But at the end of the day, they didn't have the numbers. And we eventually saw what eventually happened in Arunachal Pradesh. But in this particular case, do they seem to have the numbers?
Well, Tracy, there is a difference between Arunachal situation and Uttarakhand situation. There was a technical question in Arunachal Pradesh. There was a constitutional issue, because for 6 months the assembly didn't meet.
Yes.
And that is the important condition, and that's why governor's recommendation was accepted, and court also didn't intervene in that matter. But as far as Uttarakhand is concerned, situation is different, and here governor has given chance to Chief Minister Harish Rawat, and when you are in position to prove your majority, generally we have seen that the person who is in the power, it is easy for him to manage the numbers. Of course, it will be very, very difficult. 9 MLAs are still with the BJP of Congress. But today, BJP leaders, they apprehended that their own MLAs can go with Harish Rawat, and one of the MLAs is declared vice chairman of a board, and he has given a red bacon car. So BJP is apprehending that their own MLAs can go. So that way, if you compare the case with Arunachal Pradesh, here Congress is slightly in better position, though of course they should be worried, and they are worried, and that's why they met the president today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a tough week for both sides. In fact, we'll keep an eye out on developments there with you, Shyam. Thanks so much for joining us for the moment. Meanwhile, ahead of assembly elections in 5 states, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has once again clarified his government stand on reservation. He said that his government is very clear that there will be no change in the reservation policy for Dalits and the downtrodden. He was speaking at the Ambedkar Memorial Lecture, a first by any Prime Minister.
खुद बाबा साहब आंबेडकर भी आकर के आपका ये हक नहीं छीन सकते.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterating that there will be no change in the reservation policy in the country. Laying the foundation stone for the Ambedkar Memorial in New Delhi, he said baseless rumors were being spread by people, asserting once again that nobody can snatch the right of the Dalits.
बाबा साहब आंबेडकर ने जो राष्ट्र निष्ठा और समाज निष्ठा के आधार पर देश को चलाने की प्रेरणा दी थी, उससे हट करके सिर्फ राजनीति करने वाले लोग हैं, वो इससे बाहर नहीं निकल पाते हैं. इसलिए ये बातों को झूठे रूप में समाज को भ्रमित करने के लिए चला रहे हैं.
Delivering the Ambedkar Memorial Lecture, Prime Minister Modi drew parallels between the architect of the Constitution, B.R. Ambedkar, and civil rights activist Martin Luther King.
दुनिया जिस रूप से मार्टिन लूथर किंग को देखती है, हम बाबा साहब आंबेडकर को उससे जरा भी कम नहीं देख सकते. अगर विश्व के दबे कुचले लोगों की आवाज मार्टिन लूथर किंग बन सकते हैं, तो आज विश्व के दबे कुचले लोगों की आवाज बाबा साहब आंबेडकर बन सकते हैं.
He also linked the National Waterways Bill, which was recently passed by Parliament, with Ambedkar's views on India's maritime strength. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now to Mumbai, where residents are facing serious air pollution after 2 fires in 2 days at the Deonar dumping ground, one of the biggest in Mumbai. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has now ordered an investigation into the toxic smoke while a political blame game is on. Here's a report.
Late on Sunday night, 10 fire engines and at least 8 water tankers were sent to fight the rising flames at Mumbai's Devnar dumping ground. But the place couldn't be put out even till Monday. It was the second such fire in less than 2 months at the ground.
What happened yesterday and what kind of a preventive measure sir is going to talk about? Yes.
Local residents complained of discomfort and breathing problems due to the toxic smoke. Government schools nearby were shut, while residents demanded measures to deal with such incidents.
धुआं आता मेरे घर में पूरा भर जाता है। हम लोग को बैठने नहीं होता घर के अंदर, इतना धुआं लगती। मेरा आँख खोला क्या है, बहुत परेशानी हम लोग को है। कोई सुविधा करो कि अच्छा हो जाए। बहुत परेशानी हम लोग को, बच्चे लोग को छोटे छोटे उनको भी धुआं लगता है, रोते हैं, चिल्लाते हैं, मुंह में धुआं जाता है.
A political blame game started on the issue with the Nationalist Congress Party and the Shiv Sena targeting each other.
देवना डंपिंग ग्राउंड को फिर से अंगा लगाया गया है. मुंबई महानगर पालिका का चुनाव सामने रख के जानबूझकर शिवसेना को बदनाम करने का एक कटकारस्ता नहीं किया. इसकी जांच तत्काल मुख्यमंत्री जी ने करनी चाहिए, ऐसी मांग आज ही मुख्यमंत्री से मैं करने वाला हूं. और इसके पीछे जो कोई है वो महाराष्ट्र के मुंबई के जनता का सामने आना चाहिए, ऐसी मैं मांग करूंगा.
Yes, it is very unfortunate. Government of Maharashtra has neglected the disposal of Mumbai city's garbage, but Shiv Sena, which is ruling party in Mumbai Mahanagar Palika, since almost 2 decades they are ruling in Mumbai. They are not taken care of disposal of the garbage in the city.
Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said the centre was in touch with the state government and monitoring the situation.
We are sending a special team by this evening to the Mumbai Devnar dumping site, and our team will give the full report within a week. And I have already discussed this with Commissioner of Mumbai, and I'll discuss with Chief Minister as soon as our report is ready.
The fire intensified on Sunday evening and spread over 2 kilometers. While the cause was not known, experts blame the lack of waste management policy for the fire. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has ordered an investigation into the incident. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, MLAs and MLCs of Telangana Assembly may soon see a massive pay hike. The state government is reportedly moving ahead with a proposal to hike salaries of the legislators by almost 400%. And this comes at a time when the state is facing a debt of 1.3 lakh crores. In fact, 83,846 crore public debt accumulated in the past 2 years and 60,000 crores that the new state inherited when it was formed in 2014. The government says it will borrow further. What's surprising is that a major chunk of the borrowed money would be used for the proposed pay hike. The ruling TRS says that the pay hike was a long pending demand, but the proposed hike has prompted opposition accusations that the government is ignoring the plight of farmers.
अभी दिल्ली ने बढ़ाया है, रिसेंटली आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार उसने बढ़ाया है, कर्नाटक में बढ़ा है, बिहार में बढ़ा है. हर जगह पर मतलब एमएलए की सैलरीज बढ़ रहे हैं, एमएलसी की सैलरीज बढ़ रहे हैं. तो पहले तो मैं समझता हूँ कि अब हर देश में जब सब बढ़ रहा है तो तेलंगाना सरकार अगर बढ़ाती है तो कोई बात नहीं.
अच्छा काम करने के लिए सैलरी जरूर इंक्रीज करना बोल के वो लोग डिमांड किए थे. इसके ऊपर अभी तक निर्णय नहीं लिया. जरूर एक निर्णय ले लेंगे.
Telangana, majority of Telangana villages are alarming with the danger bells of drought, and no drought relief have been taken. Measures have been taken by the Telangana government. The drought relief sought about 3,000 crores from the central government, and not even 56 crores have been received by the state government.
With a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Yarn Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young, and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back. Let's get you some more national news now. And speculation is rife that the Reserve Bank of India will cut interest rates. Experts believe that the RBI may cut rates by 25 basis points in the upcoming credit policy review on the 5th of April. Now, according to analysts, the big cut in the small savings rate is an important signal from the government to the RBI to reduce rates. On Friday, the government had slashed interest rates on all small savings schemes, including the Public Provident Fund, Kisan Vikas Patra and the senior citizens' deposits to make them more market-aligned. Come 1st of April 2016, interest rate on PPF will be 8.1% instead of the current 8.7%. Similarly, the interest rate on Kisan Vikas Patra will also be reduced to 7.8% as compared to 8.7%, while Senior Citizen Savings Scheme of 5 years will earn 8.6% interest as compared to 9.3% currently.
आज जिस दिशा में देश की अर्थव्यवस्था चल रही है, उसमें ये स्थिति नहीं हो सकती कि बैंक के लेंडिंग रेट्स नीचे आएं, लेकिन जो डिपॉजिट रेट्स हैं वो ऊपर रहेंगे. दोनों का लिंक होता है आपस में. So to make the economy more efficient rather than sluggish, the country has to move towards the lower interest rates in both areas.
The National Investigating Agency, which is probing the Pathankot terror attack, released photographs of the 4 terrorists killed in the counter-offensive by Indian security personnel. The NIA handout featured physical details of the terrorists with description of their height. Their pictures have been circulated and the public is asked to share information about them. The move comes barely a few days before the Special Investigation Team of Pakistan is scheduled to visit Pathankot to ascertain the facts of the case. The SIT will arrive in India on the 27th of March to hold consultations with the NIA about the probe conducted so far. With that, let's take you through some more national news updates in Nationwide. The Maharashtra Assembly was adjourned thrice today after Advocate General Srihari Ane's demand for a separate Marathwada disrupted the State Assembly. The Congress, NCP and the Shiv Sena raised slogans demanding Ane's resignation. Ane made the demand at an event in Jalna on Sunday where he disbursed relief to families of farmers who committed suicide. He said that Marathwada bore more injustice than Vidarbha and should be independent. Former Haryana Chief Minister O.P. Chautala, who is serving 10-year jail term in a teacher scam case, was taken into custody in a disproportionate assets case. The arrest was made after Surjit Singh, who stood surety for Chautala at the time of his bail, sought to withdraw the surety due to personal reasons. The court is currently recording statements of CBI witnesses in the case. 5 people drowned while 4 others swam to safety when their boat overturned in Bhopal's lower lake. A group of men were boating in the lake after sunset in violation of prohibitory orders when the accident took place. Bodies of all the victims were fished out and sent for a post-mortem. And now international news. And amid escalating military tensions in the Korean peninsula, North Korea today fired multiple short-range projectiles into the sea off the country's east coast. The launch came just days after North Korea test-fired 2 medium-range missiles that UN Security Council described as an unacceptable violation of UN resolutions. Here are the details.
Amid escalating tensions, North Korea on Monday fired multiple short-range projectiles into the sea off the country's east coast. The latest action ordered by its leader Kim Jong-un brought an immediate rebuke from the US.
I think our message is pretty clear that they should refrain from all provocative actions, including missile tests, which are clearly in violation of Security Council resolutions.
On Friday, North Korea fired 2 mid-range ballistic missiles into the sea in defiance of tough new UN and US sanctions that followed nuclear and rocket tests earlier this year. Meanwhile, China called on all sides to exercise restraint.
很关切当前的朝鲜半岛的局势，我们希望呢，朝方不要做违反联合国安理会决议的事情。我们也希望呢，有关的各方都能保持冷静和克制，避免采取加剧对立和紧张的行为。
In recent weeks, North Korea has maintained a daily barrage of nuclear strike threats against both South Korea and the US, apparently over ongoing large-scale military drills at the North sees as provocative rehearsals. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, US President Barack Obama met his Cuban counterpart Raul Castro in Havana today. The meeting took place inside the vast palace of the Revolution, where the two reportedly discussed bilateral trade, among other issues. This is the first bilateral meeting between the heads of both countries since 1959.
A historic visit. Barack Obama became the first sitting US president to visit Cuba since the 1959 revolution, the beginning of an end to hostilities post the Cold War era. Obama landed at Havana's Jose Marti International Airport aboard Air Force One along with his family. He struck a code of friendship with the staff of the newly reopened US Embassy in Cuban capital, reiterating it was a historic opportunity to engage directly with Cubans.
It's been nearly 90 years since a US president stepped foot in Cuba. It is wonderful to be here. Back in 1928, President Coolidge came on a battleship. It took him 3 days to get here. It only took me 3 hours. We've got a lot of proud Americans here, but we also have a lot of proud Cubans. So, come on down.
Sea el único que ha sido más o menos que ha querido compartir con Cuba y nos preocupa que pongan otro que no quiera esa relación entre Cuba y Estados Unidos.
Cuban President Raul Castro will roll out the red carpet for the US president, opening a new chapter in US-Cuba relations. They will discuss trade and political reforms. But Obama has no plans to meet the former Cuban president and revolutionary leader Fidel Castro. Obama will also meet political dissidents and will address Cubans live on state-run media. He will be in Cuba for 3 days.
The first time ever Air Force One has landed in Cuba, and this is our very first stop. So this is a historic visit, and it's a historic opportunity to engage directly with the Cuban people and to forge new agreements and commercial deals, to build new ties between our two peoples, and for me to lay out my vision for a future that's brighter than our past.
But all is not well with the US and Cuba in the diplomatic front. A 54-year-old US economic embargo is still in place and can only be lifted by a vote in the Congress. Cuba still complains about the occupation of the US naval base at Guantanamo Bay. Both US and Cuba agreed to end decades of frozen relations early in December 2014. Since then, there have been commercial deals on telecoms and a scheduled airline service, increased cooperation on law enforcement. The US president played the tourist on his first night on the Caribbean island and took time out of his office to visit the old Havana with First Lady Michelle Obama and their daughters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's take you through some more international news events in Global Buzz. Pakistan on Monday suspended mobile telephone services in Islamabad and Rawalpindi for security reasons. The move was done to foil an attempt by terrorists to sabotage dress rehearsals ahead of Pakistan Day. The National Day will be celebrated on Wednesday with a grand parade. Officials said that phone services will remain suspended till Monday. Myanmar's President Tin Chyo told Parliament that the decision to reorganize the country's administrative structure is to save money that can be used on other sectors. Chyo clarified his plan in his first statement to Parliament on Monday, where members of the lower and upper houses gathered. The new plan, proposed last week by the NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, said that it will reduce the number of ministries to 21. Debris believed by some to be from the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 today arrived in Australia for testing. It was found earlier this month off the Southeast African coast 2 years after the plane disappeared. A white meter-long chunk of metal was found off the coast of Mozambique. 2 pieces of debris will be examined by investigators from Australia and Malaysia, as well as specialists from Boeing, Geoscience Australia, and the Australian National University. At least 13 people were killed in a bus crash on a Spanish motorway between the cities of Barcelona and Valencia. Most passengers on board were foreign students on an Erasmus program. 34 others have been injured in the crash. They were returning to Barcelona after a trip to a fireworks festival. The identities of those killed have not been made public yet, though an investigation is on. All right, on to sports news now. And barely 2 days after Pakistan's loss to India at the ICC World T20 tournament, the country's cricket board has announced the sacking of skipper Shahid Afridi. The flamboyant all-rounder will be replaced soon after the end of the tournament, according to PCB chairman Shahryar Khan. He also hinted that Afridi's days in the team were numbered, even mentioning that he may opt to retire after the World T20. Afridi had courted controversy right at the start of the tournament when he said that his cricketers got more love in India. His remark drew sharp criticism back in Pakistan. In fact, Afridi was even served a legal notice for hurting the sentiments of Pakistanis with that. And now let's get you more action from the world of sports in Sportsbeat. Hockey India today announced an 18-member Indian team for the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup. Sardar Singh will lead the team while S. Sunil will be the vice-captain. The 25th edition of the Cup will be held in Ipoh in Malaysia from the 6th to the 16th of April. With the 2016 Rio Olympics few months down the line, the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup will serve as a barometer to measure the team's preparedness. World number 1 Novak Djokovic sealed the Indian Wells title with a 6-2, 6-love rout of a hobbled Milos Raonic, taking the crown for the 3rd straight year and a record 5th time overall. The defending 2-time champion Djokovic earned his 62nd career title and extended his match-win streak at the joint ATP and WTA hardcourt tournament to 17 straight. Bundesliga leading scorer Robert Lewandowski grabbed an early goal to give Bayern Munich a 1-0 victory at Cologne to remain 5 points clear at the top of the table with 7 matches left. In another match, Borussia Dortmund's Adrian Ramos made the most of a rare start, scoring once and setting up another goal as his team beat Augsburg 3-1. Dortmund level at the stroke of half-time with Armenian Ondrej completing a lightning-quick move in the box. Yamaha's MotoGP world champion Jorge Lorenzo won the season-opening race in Qatar. Italian Andrea Dovizioso finished second for Ducati with 2.019 seconds behind, while Honda's double champion Marc Marquez settled for a 3rd spot. Italian great Valentino Rossi was a close 4th a day after announcing a contract extension with Yamaha. And that's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.